Jackson County Today. Hot topics, relevant stories, and news developments that affect our community.
Administrating the county responsibly, upholding laws, accurately assessing property taxes, meticulously documenting property boundaries. These are the responsibilities assigned to the 5 newly elected public servants who were sworn into office in Jackson County by Circuit Court Judge Bloom.
So we have some new public servants to swear in. I thank you all for being here. These are exciting times. We're lucky that we have hardworking people in our county and community that help get everything done. So thank you all on behalf of the court and me personally and my family. And it's nice to see so many familiar faces. If you could raise your right hand, I'm going to swear you in. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Patrick Green.
I, Joseph Charter.
I, Scott Fine.
I, Angela Stewart.
I, Randy Sparacino.
Do solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and will faithfully and honorably demean myself
And will faithfully and honorably demean myself
in the office of County Assessor,
in the office of County Assessor,
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
and will faithfully and honorably demean myself
In the office of County Commissioner,
in the office of County Commissioner,
Position 2,
Position 2,
to which I have been elected,
to which I've been elected
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me
All
God.
right. And that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of a district attorney
of a district attorney
of Jackson County
of Jackson County
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
And will faithfully and honorably demean myself
In the office of Justice of the Peace,
in the office of Justice of the Peace,
to which I have been elected,
to which I've been elected
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
And I will faithfully and honorably demean myself
In the offices of County Surveyor,
in the offices of County Surveyor,
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
All right, congratulations.
Safe community. Ongoing developments in public safety, law enforcement, and community justice. A new and exciting development that started this November is the Medications for Opioid Use Disorder program for adults in custody. Jackson County has realized the great value that committing resources to combat opioid use has for our community. With new funding opportunities, Jackson County has partnered with community partners to ensure that adults in custody are offered treatment options while in the custody of the Jackson County Jail.
MOUD, Medications for Opioid Use Disorder, that is kind of the new commonly used term for what many of us know as MAT, kind of the medicated assisted treatment portion. So you'll see that much of the movement now is kind of focused on opioid use, but the reality is that most of the people who we have in these programs are experiencing addiction across the board. You know, we still have a lot of methamphetamine use. So we've always known this, but we have an opportunity with people in custody, and how do we expand upon that? The only real things that happened to people when they came into jail was that if they had community-based MOUD or MAT, then we would continue that in the jail. Along with that, because it was just up to our current jail medical provider to continue that relationship, we didn't have things set up in place to really transition that back to the community. And the biggest thing we start seeing in the jail, in 2023, we had 40 separate incidents of overdose where we had to administer Narcan in the jail. At that same time, there's a change to the ability of local providers to prescribe some of these medications. And then kind of the big last piece, I think that pushed us forward was even some of our state legislators started seeing that the county jails and with this opioid crisis could have an effect on people. So in conversations, we began to recognize there was opportunity, and we knew that, well, we didn't know. I didn't know when we went into the meeting until Stacy said, we have some opioid settlement dollars available in Jackson County. I felt super blessed. It's the first time in my time at the jail that I'd ever heard from anybody, yeah, we have money, let's go find a solution to spend that money. Back to the jail medical piece, we had to find a provider in the community who was interested in partnering with us on this project. And then we all knew that without some peer support for those people who were entering into the program, that the long-term success opportunities probably wouldn't be there. With HHS's help, we started a 2-track process in identifying what this program could look like. The first piece was looking for that medical partner. We talked to the jail contract medical provider pretty early on, and it was clear that that was not a realistic opportunity. We started to look at other opportunities with community providers and sort of accidentally came upon this relationship that was existing with the Medford Treatment Center. And they threw this out as an option that maybe they could come in and actually become the team that administered that first medication and got people started in the intake. There were a few technical little obstacles we had to overcome at the jail. So again, everybody knows we got an old facility, and a part of this relationship was going to require a telemedicine assessment up front. So we worked through those issues. We have locations now in the jail where a 2-part intake process will happen with MTC staff. Back to the OHP benefit portion of things, we now know that Oregon has approved a waiver so that adults in custody will retain their OHP eligibility in some cases. That'll probably start in January 26th, but one of those cases is related to addiction and treatment, like MOUD programs. And so in this relationship with MTC, we asked them to consider a contracting option in which we will actually bill them, kind of invoice them on a fee-for-service based billing process, which is different than jail medical providers have ever done before. It's always been kind of a chunk payment for services for a period of time. And then parallel process was happening to find which peer support would be appropriate. These 3, On Track, Pathfinder Network, and Recovery Cafe, which is Reclaiming Lives, submitted proposals in which they met the things we had asked them. And so what's that look like? It's kind of dependent upon the relationship with the individual, but either through the survey with JRRP team or just somebody kind of self-identifies that they're interested in MOUD, we hook them up with the peers quickly. To have those guys coming back, I think not only really benefits the adult in custody population, but also our staff is seeing that there are some success stories that can come out of this sort of an approach. As all that was happening, again, the state legislators in the last session noticed and identified that there was this need in jails and knew that a funding source to get MOUD into jails would be important. That initial legislative concept got wrapped into House Bill 4002, which is the Measure 110 fix, the deflection program, all of that stuff. But it did create a formula grant opportunity for all of Oregon's jails. The formula grant for us works out to somewhere just over $430,000. I just got an email last week that we were fully awarded for that grant, so we should start seeing the final steps in that process to free up some of that money.
The Jackson County Jail Release Program, or JRRP, is a collaborative effort that has created a network of support services for adults in custody. The goal is to equip these adults with the resources and support necessary to limit the likelihood that they reoffend and, in turn, contribute to the overall health, safety, and livability of Jackson County.
We started the JRRP program in May of 2024. You may recall we had to really work to get the Justice Reinvestment Program dollars. The funding actually came through for the 23-25 biennium, but because we had to work pretty hard to get the money into the county, we weren't able to actually start this program until May of 24. So the JRRP program really is a collaboration between Health and Human Services, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, but specifically the jail, community justice, and the number of resources within our community, including peer program. When we originally wrote the JRP grant, we requested this program specifically to reduce the number of times a person is having an event in custody. We knew that from the research that we had done locally, those people that went into jail from the time of their arrest on a specific crime until they were actually adjudicated had up to 4 more events in custody. So we knew that if we could reduce the number of arrests that someone was getting before adjudication, maybe get them to court, we could probably reduce the number of people that we're sending to the institution. So our current program design is we have 2 community justice officers that are stationed at the jail, and they're paired with a deputy. And a deputy is a new position that we were just able to bring on. They do a needs assessment, and what they're identifying are the things that somebody needs when they're in custody and what they need when they're out of custody. We have 3 peer contracts in place paid for with the opioid settlement dollars. We provide a number of referrals with somebody that's in custody. If we identify they have a substance use disorder, a mental health disorder, we begin to try to provide services while they're still in custody. And then we also have them identify other things that they need to be successful when they release so that we can create safe pathways out. Here's the breakdown of the funding. As you can see, again, the majority comes from Justice Reinvestment Program dollars. Another very large piece of the funding comes from the opioid settlement dollars, which is managed by HHS. During the time that we conducted this part of the program, the first quarter, we had 184 adults in custody who were surveyed. You can see that the majority of the adults in custody were white male between the age of 25 and 45. Mostly in custody on failures to appear and probation violations, and 34% of those that we surveyed were rearrested within the first 6 months. And then more importantly, because a lot of this funding is for MAT and MOUD, we took a look at those that were on MAT or MOUD prior to arrest, and then those that were interested. So as they come into custody, if they're on MAT or MOUD, then they can continue with that service, but there's nothing available for that population during this time period. If you look at that JRP report we put out, the green is the number of people that were receiving help, and then the gray is the number of people needing help. So we had a lot of folks that were wanting peers, wanting substance abuse, and a number of other things, and we hadn't quite made that connection during this first quarter. We had a peer kickoff where we brought all of the peers in. We talked about what the program was going to look like. We talked about what the goals of the program are. It was really kind of a fun luncheon that we held and had the ability to have their input as they begin to come into the jail. One of the most important pieces I want to emphasize is that this is a lot of people collectively coming together with the same goals in mind. Every time we have a conversation, when we have a discussion about the opioid dollars or JRRP, we're always talking about how many people want to be part of the process and how many people are actually not just vocalizing it, but actually stepping up and being there. So we just felt it was super important to let folks know that we have this program in the jail, and we will begin connecting with those peers, and then we will be tracking this data. So the peer contracts require that the peers track the folks as well, so that not only do we get what needs the person has, what is it we had set up for their pathway out, then we can collect multiple months of data based on the peers reporting back to us. So we've set this up so that we can actually see, is this program working? If it's not, where are the gaps? What can we do to fill those in?
Awards and recognition, acknowledging elected officials, Jackson County employees, and community members who model exemplary service and dedication. We know how important it is to continue taking the necessary steps to build a better Jackson County with each passing day. Over the years, our Development Services Department has built a team that is ready to tackle any challenge they face. Senior Planner Francisco Hernandez has been a star of the department for 25 years. He has proven to be an invaluable asset for the county, providing his institutional knowledge to his colleagues and using it to be a leader for our county. Join us in honoring Francisco with the 25 Years of Service Award.
Francisco Frank Hernandez received a bachelor's degree in geography from Southern Oregon University, and while there had the opportunity to intern with Jackson County Planning and Development. In December 1999, after receiving his degree, Frank was hired by the county as an entry-level planner in the planning division. He's been a planner and subsequently a senior planner for the county through reorganizations of planning and development to roads, parks, and planning, to what is now the Development Services Department, where he is currently a Planner 3. Given his extensive experience and long tenure, Frank has a wealth of institutional knowledge that proves to be invaluable for his fellow colleagues and for the public that he serves. In May 2005, Frank was recognized as the Employee of the Month, and at that time expressed that he enjoys being able to help people navigate the land development process. Well, that's super easy, though. And to reach a successful outcome. He excels in interpreting code and understanding land use procedures, showing his exceptional strengths in these areas. He takes joy in leading and supporting frontline staff, and he demonstrates commitment to the quality of his work. During his tenure, Frank has consistently demonstrated a strong commitment to professionalism and dedication to his work, which has significantly enhanced the efficiency and effectiveness of the department's operations. Frank, on behalf of the Jackson County Board of Commissioners, congratulations on 25 years of continuous service to Jackson County. You've been a devoted and hardworking employee who consistently offers us your best. Thank you for your dedication to the citizens of Jackson County.
Right, you've got a fan club here, don't you? That's great. I just want to add that I marvel at what you all do down there in Development Services. I know you got a really tough job, and I know that sometimes things get a little tense, and sometimes people don't understand everything you're doing. You're following the law, you're following the rules, you're making sure that our community really looks good. And I know it's a really tough job. So congratulations, and thanks for all you do.
I too want to say congratulations. I guess what you say will be held against you. Recapped from how many years ago? That's amazing. But to spend at any job for 25 years is just incredible. And I think a common theme we see in a lot of our wards, even like with Expo, is the significant changes you've endured. And the significant changes in planning has been crazy. So, and you've endured. So thank you so much, and thank you for the service to our citizens. So I'll turn it over to Ted, and then you get the last word. You get a rebuttal.
Yeah, Frank's good at rebuttals. That's one of the things we appreciate about him. 25 years, you hit the nail on the head that he has institutional knowledge and a history lesson. If you want to know legislative changes, Frank's the one to talk to. Sometimes he can even tell you what he thinks the intent of the legislation was. With that, he's invaluable. So I did want to say a few things. Frank is one of those people we affectionately think of him as like, that used to be the commercial with the man that was the most wonderful. I can't think of what it's now.
The most interesting planner in the world.
Yes, the most interesting man in the world. That's what so some of the things that Frank likes is he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He's an LA Dodgers fan, so he has that East-West Coast balance.
Yay!
More importantly, he's aspiring to become a fantasy football master. I'm not really sure what that is, but it sounds impressive. He likes to work on old cars. He has a 41 and a 76 truck that he aspires to work on at some point. He also likes three-wheelers. Those were those, we have quads and side-by-sides today, but those three-wheelers were the ones that they banned because they were death traps, kind of like the lawn darts. They said you can't make these anymore. Frank fixes them up, puts them back into use. And with that, I'll leave you with a quote from one of our staff. They heard Frank had 25 years, and it's kind of like a lifetime achievement award for Frank, because the quote was, "Frank, you've been doing this longer than I've been alive." So with that, thank you for a lifetime of service.
So I think I probably speak for everybody here that, the less I say, the better off we all are. 25 years doesn't really seem like a long time. Seems like it's been It's gone by pretty quick. I remember we've got planner ones. Katie's coming up on her 6 months, and Erin's coming up on her 1 year in January. We believe Grace, today is your 1 year anniversary too. So thank you for everything you guys do, allowing me the opportunity to teach, allowing me the opportunity to talk. Thank you for pretending to listen. I appreciate it. 25 years. I know my mom's listening. Thank you for making me get out of bed and go to school. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for setting the example of getting your tail feathers out of bed, going to work every day. It's really all it is. It's real simple. So thank you, my family, for giving me a reason to get out of bed and come to work every morning. You got to take care of your village, and the county's giving me the opportunity to do that. So thank you, everybody. I'm not sure what a fantasy football master is, Joel. We might play together. It's elusive, so I am. It's an unachievable goal. And I want to take just a second to thank Mr. Jordan. I had a brief conversation when I was a shop steward. At one point, we were in a meeting, and I was trying to express a point, not doing a very good job of it. And Mr. Jordan just simply said, just say it. Don't wordsmith it, just spit it out. And I've taken that to heart. I've tried to do that every day. Not always popular, doesn't make a lot of friends all the time, but it's the way to go. It's the absolute way to go. So thank you, Ted. Wouldn't be here without the immense and unending patience of management. So I do appreciate you. So thank you. That's all I got.
Every year, the presiding chair of the Board of Commissioners selects a recipient for the annual Chairman's Award, which recognizes a local resident whose life achievements have made a profound difference in Jackson County. Board Chair Rick Dyer has chosen Kevin Lamson, founder of Hearts with a Mission, Safe Families for Children, a transitional home for young adults, and Hearts for Seniors. His immense impact on so many has made Kevin stand out as a true servant leader in Jackson County.
As the 2024 chair, I am honored to present the 14th Annual Chairman's Award to Mr. Kevin Lamson for his work in the field of community service. In 2006, Mr. Lamson was reading a newspaper article about the alarming rise of the homeless youth population in Jackson County and was immediately inspired to take action. This marked the beginning of his efforts to address youth homelessness in the community through what would be soon recognized as Hearts with a Mission. In 2009, with the collaboration of many individuals and organizations, Mr. Lamson successfully opened the only youth shelter in Jackson County for children and teenagers, 10 to 17 years of age, which provided vital refuge, safety, and essential support services. In 2014, Mr. Lamson introduced the Safe Families for Children program, leading to expanded services to children and families in need, especially those who may not meet the criteria to qualify for other services. Under Mr. Lamson's leadership, the organization accepted a state contract for the Independent Living Program, which offers life skills training to youth living in foster care and has been instrumental in helping foster youth transition successfully into adulthood. Realizing the need for a larger shelter, Hearts with a Mission completed a new youth shelter in 2018. This allowed it to repurpose the pre-existing shelter into a transitional living home for young adult ages 18 to 22, which provides a much-needed resource for older youth as they transition to independence. In 2022, Mr. Lamson launched the Hearts for Seniors program to address the needs of isolated seniors in the community. Mr. Lamson is an inspiration not only to those who work alongside him, but also to those impacted by Hearts with a Mission. His unwavering vision and determination to fulfill the mission God placed on his heart have changed countless lives, while his compassionate leadership has made Hearts with a Mission a true source of hope in the community. His service to the community is a way of life for Kevin Lamson, and as the chair of the Board of Commissioners, I am honored to present him with the 2024 Chairman's Award for his outstanding work in the field of community service. Probably back in 2008, 2009, we ran into each other, started talking, and you started telling me about what you were planning to do. And I said, that's amazing. That's absolutely what we need. What can I do to help? and you were building the first shelter at that point, and I had my window company, and we raised some money, got some windows, installed the windows in the new facility. But also during that time, I was making phone calls to community leaders looking for other contributions. And a lot of those conversations, people would be, very pessimistic about your chances, saying, "Oh, he's got way too many hoops to jump through. The state won't allow him to do that." Blah blah blah. And I came back to you and told you about some of this, and you said, "Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter. We're going to get it done." And that confidence, after I talked to him, I never doubted it again. I knew he was going to get it done. I am extremely proud to present this award to Kevin. You're an amazing community leader. You're a great man, and you're a good friend. And I appreciate what you do. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Well, clearly persistence is your middle name. There's no doubt about that. That's really great. And what's really important is not only your service to your community, but to service to our God and what you're doing and everything. And I really think it's important what you've done is by going after the homeless issue and the problem with the youth, you've moved upstream. And you realize that it's best to address this issue at that point. And for God's sakes, thank you.
I think the Chairman's Award is such a highlight to the end of a year of a lot of service awards, because it really highlights such an amazing individual in our community every year, and you're no exception. You fit right in, and I just think it just takes an individual of perseverance and dedication, as you are, of decades of service to the youth and now to elderly. And I just think there's so much need out there, but like I say, your perseverance and the fact your faith, we know that all things are possible with God. And I just think that is worth noting and highlighting and observing and emulating in our community. And so thank you so much for all you've done and what you continue to do in our community.
Well, you guys didn't leave me a whole heck of a lot to say. I think you covered it all. Michelle, thank you for helping get this shelter going. The board, you guys are incredible. The staff that we have, great. Okay. I think in all of us, we recognize where it came from above. So thank you. I'm honored, privileged. My mom actually turns 94 on Friday, so happy birthday to her. And I think that's what I acknowledge, that when God says, I'll give you what you need, he gave that to me a long time ago. Giving me that family that wasn't like the family that I was helping, but was what they needed. So that meant a lot, I think, now, because I can just look and say, okay, what's needed, and just give them what you have. You know, I want my life to be an example of what I believe. And love God, love others. It's pretty simple. And if I can do that, then I think I'm accomplishing what he wanted me to do. But these guys do the work. So thank you guys for everything that you do. You mean the world.
Chairman's Award presented to Kevin Lamson for lifetime achievement as a citizen of Jackson County in the field of community service. Kevin Lamson is hereby acknowledged as Jackson County's esteemed Citizen of the Year for 2024. Congratulations.
Thank you for joining us for this close-up look at the stories that matter most to you. We hope you feel a little more connected to the people and places that make Jackson County such a special place to live.